When you think about homes selling at an auction, chances are you are not thinking about luxury homes selling at an auction, right? If this is you, I am about to blow your mind. See, auctions are not just for distressed homes that no one really wants to buy unless they are hugely discounted. And today we are going to debunk the top 5 myths about luxury auctions for both buyers and sellers. Now, to see if you really get a deal on these luxury homes at auction, you're going to have to stick around, but don't worry, we will talk about it. And if you've ever bought or sold a home at a luxury auction, let me know how it went in the comments down below. Now, when it comes to buying or selling luxury real estate, most don't realize that using an auction company is even an option, especially when you are not looking to sell your home for a huge discount. See, that's what everyone thinks. If you sell a home at auction, you have to almost give it away. And most consumers think that sellers turn to an auction as a last resort. Well, that is far from the truth. Luxury auctions can actually provide a lot of benefits that are not offered through other selling methods. See, luxury auction companies position the house as an exclusive event. They create a sense of prestige around the property, and they often curate a list of potential buyers that are specifically interested in luxury real estate. Then they create hype about it, so they encourage people to come so they don't miss out. I mean, we've all heard of FOMO, right? Well, that's what they're creating. Auctions provide the opportunity to target a specific audience for these luxury homes. Luxury property auctions also require an extensive marketing effort, specifically targeted to attract these high net worth individuals that are interested in luxury real estate. And this targeted approach can increase the likelihood of finding just the right buyer for these properties. Now, luxury home auctions are in a league of their own and should not be compared to other auctions you've heard about. Reputable auction companies will only auction off the most sought after homes, often causing bidding wars, driving that price up higher than the market value. Now, this does not mean that every home sells at auction, and I'll explain that in a minute, but first I want to tell you a story about a home here in Paradise Valley that was just auctioned off. Now, this luxury home was on the market for $20 million. The owner did receive a few offers that they put together, but all of them fell apart for whatever reason. They then decided to try to sell the home at a luxury auction. At the auction, they had 8 potential qualified buyers that could bid on the home, but no one bid above the reserved amount, so the home did not sell. Now, the current owner bought this home back in 2019 for $12 million and was actually willing to sell the home at the auction for $12 million. That was the reserve price, but it didn't happen. So now the home is back on the market for $20 million again, and it's sitting there waiting for just the right buyer. Now, in situations like this, the buyer might be able to purchase this home for less than the home would normally be marketed for on the open market, but the buyer still has to like the home. Now, many also believe that luxury private auctions are private, and the reality is that most of these auctions are open to the public. It's really just like any other auction. The more bidders you have, the more competition, and the higher the final price will be bid up, in theory. Now, if you're thinking, great, just when I was thinking that I was going to be able to go to this exclusive auction, you're telling me that anyone and everyone can come and bid on my house or bid against me. Not exactly. The only people that can actually bid on the home are those people that have turned in their documentation to show that they can actually qualify. So don't worry, the financial piece is covered. These companies would not risk their reputation over that. Auctions can attract buyers from all different geographical areas, including international buyers. In addition, online bidding platforms has made it easier for bidders that cannot be present and are international to actually participate in these online auctions, which just further increases your chance of finding the right buyer for a right price. But this is not just great for sellers, it is also great for buyers. Now, just a little side note, not all auction companies will allow online bidding. So if this is something that's important to you, make sure when you're looking at these homes that they will actually allow it if that's something that you need. Now, when it comes to actually bidding, most auction companies will require all bidders to register. This gives them some sense of how many bidders they're actually going to have bidding on the home. And by doing this, it gives the seller a little more confidence that they have an actual solid buyer base to bid on their home on the day of the auction. Now, there is also a misconception that you have to sell your home for whatever the highest bid is when the auction comes to an end. And that is simply just not true. You can set what's called a reserve for your home. Remember that story that I just told you about the home that didn't sell? This is why. This reserve serves as a safeguard, allowing you to set a minimum price that you would be comfortable with. In this scenario, if the bidding exceeds what your reserve is, then the home will sell for more. However, if the bidding falls short of what your reserve is, then the home just doesn't sell. Now, another myth is that you can't sell the home before the auction. And for this one, you would need to check with the specific auction company that you're using, because some will not allow this to happen, but some will. So if while the marketing efforts are going on, you get an offer from a potential buyer that is acceptable to you, you may be able to take it and therefore not have to go through with the auction. Now, something to note that's very important about selling your home through a luxury auction is that sellers are participating in the marketing costs, which can be tens of thousands of dollars. So although you may be able to sell your home pre-auction, that doesn't negate the fact that you will still have to participate in all the marketing costs for this. This is just something to be aware of. Now, there are a few different companies that really specialize in luxury home auctions. And after being in the business for 25 years, I have interviewed and talked with a few of these companies for my clients to see if it might be a fit for them. So if you're thinking about going through a luxury home auction or just have questions about it, take a look at that pinned comment down below. Reach out to me and I'm happy to answer any of your questions and make sure you're talking to the right person to help you with all of your questions. Now, to really get a feel for a home, you have to experience the home, which means you need to go inside. And many think this is just not possible when a home is on an auction. But again, with luxury auctions, this is very different. Bidders can personally go into the home and take a look around. When you or your real estate agent conveys interest in the home, you will then be put on a list so that you're notified about all the opportunities to visit the home prior to the auction. You and your agent will have the opportunity to visit the home, ask all the questions that you have, see all the documentation that they provide to answer any of those questions to ensure that you feel confident when the auction time comes around for bidding. I mean, the seller wants you to be confident in what you're bidding on so that when you bid, if you win, the sale actually goes through. So this is just an additional myth, but yes, you can still work with your trusted real estate agent when you are buying a home at auction. Now, something else that auction companies offer is transparency through the sales process. The bidding process is open to the public, and this allows all participants to see what bids are happening when, so that everyone can compete fairly. Now, maybe one of the biggest myths about buying a home at a luxury auction is that you have to pay cash. And this is also not true. Now, to expedite things, luxury auctions often require bidders to have all of their financials right in order and ready to go, whether that's cash or financing. This means that sellers are more likely to receive non-contingent offers on the property through the auction. This provides certainty and reduces the risk of the home actually falling apart before it comes to the closing table. However, if the buyer needs to obtain financing like they would in a normal transaction, they can. Some of the terms in a regular real estate transaction will likely be removed from a contract when you're buying a house at auction, but you can still get a loan. And like I said earlier, some of these companies will allow bidders to submit pre-auction offers or negotiate some of the terms like closing date or maybe some contingencies. Unlike antique and art auctions, a luxury home auction will allow you to finance your purchase. But just like a traditional sale, you would need to make sure that all your financing is set up well in advance. You see, luxury auctions are lightning fast, and bidders come to the auction prepared to make a purchase on the spot. So as long as you're coming with all your ducks in a row, whether it's cash or financing, this will help ensure that you have a smooth transaction without any unnecessary delays. Now, if you would like to see some shocking trends that are going on in the luxury housing market right now, make sure you take a look at this video. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.